The restaurant was buzzing with the murmur of conversations, the clinking of silverware against fine china, and the occasional bursts of laughter from tables filled with lively guests. Among them, Barron Trump sat quietly with his mother, Melania, enjoying a simple meal. Despite being the son of a former president, Barron had always preferred to keep a low profile, finding solace in books and deep conversations rather than the glaring spotlight his family often attracted. Across the room, a well-known liberal journalist named Ethan Graves was seated with his colleagues, his voice carrying over the gentle hum of the restaurant. He was known for his sharp critiques, often pushing boundaries in his reporting. Tonight, however, his target was different. "I mean, come on," Ethan said, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "The kid's practically a statue. Has anyone ever seen him smile? Speak? Does he even have an opinion, or is he just another product of his father's influence?" His colleagues chuckled nervously, aware that his words were harsh, but none had the courage to stop him. Barron heard everything. He had spent years enduring the whispers, the speculative headlines, the intrusive questions from the media. People assumed things about him without ever knowing him. But this was different, it was direct, public, and cruel. Melania shifted uncomfortably beside him, her eyes scanning her son's face for a reaction. But Barron simply set down his fork, wiped his mouth, and took a deep breath. Then, with calm determination, he stood up. The restaurant grew quiet as he walked toward the journalist's table. Conversations halted, eyes turned, and an unspoken anticipation filled the air. When he reached Ethan Graves, Barron's expression remained composed, his posture unwavering. "Mr. Graves," Barron began, his voice measured but firm, "I know who you are. I know the kind of stories you write. And I understand that sometimes, making jokes at someone else's expense makes good headlines." Ethan smirked, leaning back in his chair. "Well, at least you can talk. That's a start." The room held its breath. But Barron didn't waver. Instead, he continued, "You see me as a reflection of my father. You assume that because I don't parade my opinions in front of cameras or engage in online battles, I must be empty. But let me ask you something, Mr. Graves. When was the last time you sat with a child whose parents were publicly criticized every single day? When was the last time you thought about what it must be like to grow up with people assuming the worst about you before you even get a chance to prove who you are?" Ethan's smirk faded, replaced by something resembling uncertainty. Barron took another step closer. "I could fire back. I could insult you the way you insulted me. But that would only prove your point, wouldn't it? Instead, I'll do something different." With that, Barron pulled out his wallet and placed a crisp $50 bill on Ethan's table. "This is for your next meal," Barron said softly. "Because no matter what you think of me, I won't treat you the way you treated me. I hope someday, if you ever have a son, people will show him more kindness than you've shown me tonight." Silence. Pure, absolute silence. The kind that makes people rethink everything they believe. Ethan Graves, the man known for his razor-sharp words, had nothing to say. His colleagues exchanged glances, some with shame, others with admiration for the young man who had just taught them a lesson in grace and dignity. Barron turned and walked back to his table, where Melania took his hand, her eyes shining with quiet pride. The moment hung in the air long after they left, lingering in the minds of everyone present. The next day, Ethan Graves wrote an op-ed, not about politics, not about criticism, but about a lesson in character he had received from someone he never expected. "Sometimes, we believe strength is in the sharpness of our words," he wrote. "But real strength is in the ability to rise above them." And for the first time in his career, Ethan Graves admitted that he had been wrong. "I've structured the story into 3 distinct parts for better flow and impact. Let me know if you'd like any further refinements or additions."